Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So here I'm going to be simulating if Argentina started an empire, except unlike other creators, Argentina isn't going to be buffed at all. They just became an empire. So what they do first is they decide to declare war on Chile. Because Chile are weekend, it's a very easy target. So, they go into, oh wait. So they go into southern Chile, because they already had troops there secretly. And slowly, one at a time, they're taking over regions of Chile. Wait, how did I get rid of this? Wait. Nope. Maybe there. So, slowly but surely, the Argentinians are expanding into Chile. And it's pretty easy for them. They don't have to try that much, but it is kind of hard to, go through the Andes. So they're going to have some struggles, but eventually Chile surrenders, and now we're going to look at the peace treaty. So, in the peace treaty, as you can see, Argentina annexes the entirety of Chile. And the next thing they're going to do is they're actually going to make an alliance with Peru over here. So the reason that they're doing this is because there's one big problem in South America, as you can see here. And since they're an empire and everything, they want to get rid of them, So that's exactly what they're going to do. And as you can see here, if I can find Peru. Any second now. Okay, wait a second. Where's Peru? Okay, that's really weird. I'll just do it like this. So, yeah. The next thing that Argentina is going to be doing after allying with Peru is declaring war on Uruguay. So they're just going to do this as quickly as possible because they don't want to make the rest. What happened here? Make the rest of the world angry. So they're just going to not peacefully annex Uruguay. As you can see here, once again in the peace treaty, Argentina completely annexes the country. So, the next thing that happens is a bit more interesting. Argentina is going to declare war again. But it's on two countries. They're going to declare war on Bolivia and Paraguay. Now, they're going to get some help from Peru, obviously. And let's just see how the war goes. So, as you can see here, Argentina has already started to attack them. So, they're claiming these little pieces here, and Peru has already started its invasion on Bolivia. Now, Bolivia launches a counteroffensive where they invade the northern part of Argentina and finally get a reason to use that navy. But it just doesn't look like it's going to end well for Bolivia and Paraguay, because Argentina is completely rampaging through them. They're doing a draft from all the citizens from Uruguay so that they can successfully invade all of this mess. So Paraguay has completely surrendered to the Peruvian and Argentinian forces, while Bolivia is slowly being taken over. The Peruvians spiked to Sucre, where they managed to take it, and all that's left is La Paz. The Argentinians meet up with the Peruvians and encircle this entire thing, where they get completely conquered. Then there's another spike, and they manage to, and the Peruvian and Argentinian forces managed to completely take over Sucre. This part of Bolivia collapses, as you can see here, and this part of Bolivia surrenders. So, a pretty interesting thing happens here. So, keeping up with the theme of fully annexing, Argentina fully annexes Paraguay, but Bolivia has become a mess. Peru has taken bits of the western part, and Argentina has taken the entire southern blob thing, and now Bolivia is split into two: West Bolivia and East Bolivia. Now, these are obviously puppets, because, why not? So, that's it for the peace treaty. Now, if we look up north, we can see Ecuador sitting so boring. Now, Peru declares war on Ecuador, because, again, duh. And they instantly start invading Peru, because, again, it just makes sense. So, as you can see, Peru has started its invasion on Ecuador, and it is not going well for Ecuador. They've already lost their capital, Quito, and they just surrendered. So yeah. So as you can see here, Ecuador has become a puppet. Yay! Everybody loves puppets. Unless you're part of the puppet country, then you probably don't. But as we can see here, Brazil is getting really, really angry because they're not much of a fan of Argentina and Peru's expansionism, so they decide to do some expansionism of their own, to combat the Argentinians and Peruvians. So obviously Brazil declares war on Guyana and Suriname. Let's see if they manage to do anything that impacts anything at all. Oh wait, that's not good. Oh dear, this really isn't good. Oh no. And as you can see, Guyana has been completely taken over, and Suriname is on their last hexagony pixel thing. But Brazil quickly takes that over. So it's time for the peace treaty. And as you can see, Brazil completely annexes Guyana and Suriname. Now Brazil is looking for allies. And who could be a better ally than Venezuela? Yay! No, seriously, they want Venezuela as an ally. So Venezuela becomes one of their allies. I'm going to use this brown color because I can't find any dark yellow ones. And yeah. Now Colombia is faced with a tough choice. Die or die. So they choose die, but from them. And so it begins. Now, as you can see here, Colombia has just been attacked right now. So the Reds make their first move, launching an attack on the southern part of Colombia, and then so do the Yellows. They launch an attack via Venezuela and parts of Brazil. Now, Colombia is just like, why did I have to be in South America? Why? I don't know. You chose this. So, anyway, the Reds are attacking again, but they're going to be way more offensive. And they're going to encircle this entire region of Colombia, I don't know the name, and completely take it over. They also try to shoot up for Bogota, but then fail. Now it's the yellow team's turn again, where they're going to attack some more. But since Venezuela is crumbling so much, they have to focus on the new team. So as you can see here, there's like a big civil war going on in Venezuela. The Brazilians are going to try to do as much as they can to help, but first, the red team are going to make as much benefit of this situation as they can. They're going to conquer Earth, or the majority, a lot of Colombia, and completely kick them out of the way of the yellow team. Meanwhile, the yellow team are trying to defend themselves from the green team, where they managed to somewhat successfully take over some small bits of the green rebel groups, but not that much. Now the rebellion is going to clump up over here, and they're kind of gotten a lot of Venezuela, and Venezuela is basically dead at this point, but not yet. The Reds continue and manage to finish off Colombia, and now it's just the Venezuelan Civil War. So as you can see here, Colombia has been completely divided, and it's just these countries. But now, a really interesting thing happens. The Brazilians accidentally shoot some Peruvian troops all the way in Colombia. But this news is not taken well, and they told the government all the way in Lima. The Peruvian government considered this as an act of war, and, well, it's wartime. And here we go. Definitely the biggest fight or war in South America. So the war is going to start with the Brazilians, who had been preparing for this, going into West and East Bolivia. Next to act is the Argentinians, where they will attack southern Brazil, and in the meantime taking as many major cities as they possibly can. Up north, Peru is attacking the already war-torn and unstable Venezuela, and they're basically attacking on, and Brazil is, if you look at it, Brazil is losing more land than gaining. So, Brazil attacks Argentina, and it goes well until the troops from over here move up and start attacking and start kicking them out. Then the Argentinians make their own offensive, where they successfully take a major part of Brazil. Now, they managed to kick out the Brazilians from East Bolivia, but it doesn't do that much. Then they managed to start attacking up in the north, and yeah, so obviously Brazil is losing, so they decide to make a draft. Yep, one of the worst things that a country can do. They start their initiative to free this area, and they managed to succeed in liberating in the most part. The Peruvians continue pushing. Wait, no, wrong color. No, this is the right color. The Peruvians continue pushing into Venezuela until Venezuela capitulates. Yep. The entire Venezuela is completely taken over. Now, that's because they knew that they weren't going to make it. They knew that they weren't going to be doing well. The Brazilian draft was a big mistake, because all it did was make people really angry. And Guyana and Suriname completely rebel from Brazil. So the Brazilians aren't doing well. Then the Argentinians start spiking up to the capital of Brazil, and they manage to, and they don't reach it, but they're close. So the Argentinians continue spiking until they reach where the capital would be. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here, and I think, and Brazil is completely lost. There's an attempt to completely surround this, but it fails because they just can't push through enough. And finally, the Argentinians push towards Rio de Janeiro, which they, at one point, finally managed to capture. So all the people in Brazil are feeling really grim because they're losing really badly. The attempt to spike continues. And they almost managed to cut it completely off, but not quite. Not yet, anyway. They make more progress in here, and then they start going for the Brazilian coast to, knock out any remaining major cities. And the Peruvians and the Argentinians are really successful. And at one point they even managed to block this area off. So let's see what happens now. And they took over this huge chunk of the Amazon. They are slowly edging towards the each other, but suddenly Brazil does a very interesting thing. They managed to get rid of all of this, and they also get rid of all this southern coastline monstrosity, and they end up freeing Rio de Janeiro, which is good for them. Wait, no, isn't it over here? Okay, never mind. So, anyway, the Brazilians are extremely worried. So, and they know they're going to lose it. I mean, it's kind of obvious. So they decide to do what any rational person would do. They decide to surrender. So they surrender just like that. Wait, what? No. Doesn't want to be. Wait a second. Wait, does it need to be like that? Okay. So, the Brazilians have surrendered and everybody's happy. Right? Well, we'll see when we look at the peace treaty. Now, when we look at the peace treaty, we see that a lot has happened. Argentina grew by like a ton. So did Peru. Venezuela is this little thing. This weird thin thing is Guyana. This is Suriname. West Bolivia and East Bolivia grew. So now if they were to unionize, they would actually look like Bolivia. Ecuador didn't grow at all, but you don't really expect them to. And this is Brazil. I know, it's chaotic. So, that's it for Argentina. They've finished being an empire, and now they're a republic. And they're a very big republic, I want to point out. Probably like 150 million people here or something. Maybe there's probably way more. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed.